still keep a good relationship with those kids, as long as she and Kody are willing to let me,
There's a hush inside the courtroom so complete, so heavy it feels as though everyone has forgotten how to breathe. The air is dense with anticipation, the kind that comes before a storm that will change everything. Meri Brown rises slowly, her hands trembling just slightly. Yet her voice carries a quiet strength that silences even the creak of the benches. What she says next doesn't just stir the room, it detonates like an earthquake, shaking the very foundation of everything the Brown family built their lives upon. Your Honor, she begins steadily. I have evidence that Kody and Robyn misrepresented themselves to this court, and to all of us. It begins with this DNA test. Gasps ripple across the room, sharp, audible, and disbelieving. Even the judge's gavel hesitates midair, as though he himself needs a moment to grasp what he's just heard. The camera pans to Kody Brown. The trademark smirk he's worn for decades falters for the first time. Robyn's fingers tighten around her handbag, her knuckles pale as if she could somehow clutch her secrets tighter. What started as a custody hearing has just turned into a war zone, one that will unravel years of deceit, secrecy, and manipulation. Meri's voice doesn't waver as she slides a sealed envelope across the table to the bailiff. This, she says softly, proves that Kody and Robyn haven't just deceived this court. They've been lying to all of us for years. The silence that follows is suffocating. You can hear the tick of the courtroom clock, the scratch of a journalist's pen stopping mid-word. Kody's smile disappears entirely. Robyn turns to him for reassurance, but he refuses to meet her eyes. For the first time in his life, he's not in control. The bailiff returns with the envelope. The judge opens it slowly, scanning the first line in his face, drains of color. Is this confirmed? The judge asks, voice barely above a whisper. Meri nods. Through DNA testing, Your Honor. Sealed and certified by the Utah State Laboratory. The courtroom erupts. Reporters shout over one another. Cameras flash like lightning. Robyn's sobs fill the space as Kody slams his fists on the table, voice cracking as he yells, "This is manipulation. This is a setup." Meri doesn't flinch. Her calm is chilling. For once, Kody, she says evenly, the truth isn't something you can control. The gavel strikes, but the order is gone. The story has already escaped these four walls, and so has the truth. Because DNA doesn't lie. And this time, neither does Meri Brown. Day one, the custody hearing, when Meri first stepped into that courtroom. She wasn't looking for a fight. She came quietly, almost humbly, in a faded blue blouse and carrying her old cracked leather notebook, one she'd owned since the first season of Sister Wives. Inside it, scribbled across worn pages, were truths she'd held for over a decade. This wasn't about fame or forgiveness or even revenge. It was about custo, specifically the custody of truly Grace Brown, Christine's daughter, who had long been loved by all the wives like she was everyone's child. But now something dark had surfaced. Something that happened under Kody and Robyn's watch. Something Meri had stumbled upon and refused to bury. Christine sat 2 rows behind, pale and drawn, hands clasped tight. She hadn't spoken publicly, but her silence screamed louder than any words. When Meri rose to speak, the courtroom fell still again. Your Honor, she began, voice firm but cracking slightly. This isn't about polygamy or religion or personal grievances. It's about a child's safety. When Truly was in the care of Kody and Robyn, there was a medical emergency, and they withheld treatment. A collective intake of breath filled the room. Robyn's hand shot out to grip Kody's arm. He didn't respond. I have medical reports, Meri continued, and a signed statement from the attending physician confirming the delay in treatment. Truly's condition was critically and ignored. The judge leaned forward. Are you suggesting this was intentional? At best, negligent, Meri replied calmly. But more than that, Tit was covered up. That word, covered up, hung in the air like smoke after a gunshot. The judge turned to Kody and Robyn. Do you have a response? Robyn stammered. We thought it wasn't serious. Truly seemed fine cheese, a tough girl. Meri's voice cut through. Not serious. Her kidneys were shutting down, her airway was closing, and you did nothing. Tell me, Robyn, was she just not important enough to take to a hospital? Robyn's face burned red. Kody jumped to his feet, roaring objection. This is a family matter, not a custody dispute. Sit down, Mr. Brown, the judge ordered sharply. This court will decide based on facts, not titles. The first exhibit appeared on screen, a medical report confirming Truly was taken to the ER 2 days later than advised. Then came a text message from Robyn to Christine. We thought it wasn't that serious. She was moody anyway. We didn't want to scare her. Christine's jaw tightened. The courtroom was deathly silent. This, said the judge gravely, is deeply concerning. Kody muttered. Meri's twisting things. She's just jealous. Always has been. That word jealous made Meri smile bitterly. This isn't about jealousy, she said quietly. It's about what happens when one wife becomes the queen and the rest of us become nothing. The gavel struck. Court adjourned for 15 minutes. Day 2, the DNA envelope the next morning. The courthouse was swarming with reporters. News vans lined the car park. Journalists eager to capture the fallout from yesterday's revelations. Meri arrived early, alone as always. Holding that same notebook, its next page marked Day 2 and underlined 3 times. One name, Robyn Sullivan Brown. Inside, Kody looked like a trapped animal. His composure gone, his arrogance cracked. Robyn sat behind him, sunglasses hiding red, swollen eyes. Christine and Janelle shared a bench, silent but watchful. When the judge entered, the noise vanished instantly. Court is now in session. We'll proceed with new evidence regarding Mrs. Robyn Brown's prior legal history. The phrase struck like thunder. Robyn froze. Her lawyer stiffened. Meri's attorney stepped forward confidently. Your Honor, as rebuttal to yesterday's testimony, we present verified court documents from 2008 and 2009. Records from a prior custody dispute between Mrs. Brown, then known as Robyn Sullivan, and her ex-husband David Jessup. The courtroom buzzed. These records indicate, the lawyer continued, that Mrs. Brown lost partial custody of her 3 eldest children following allegations of falsified medical information. The judge's brows rose. Mrs. Brown, is this accurate? Robyn's lips trembled. Those were lies. My ex was abusive. He twisted everything. We acknowledge those claims, said Meri's attorney gently. But this isn't about the past. It's about a pattern. Yesterday, we saw it again with Truly Brown's case. Kody slammed the table. Enough. This is harassment. One more outburst, Mr. Brown warned the judge, and I'll hold you in contempt. The courtroom froze. Tears rolled down Robyn's face as she sobbed. I did what I thought was right for my children. I always have. The judge sighed heavily. Mrs. Brown, please regain your composure. Across the aisle, Meri sat motionless, jaw, tight eyes, fierce. She hadn't wanted to destroy them this way. But truth, once freed, cannot be contained. And when that DNA envelope is opened, when Solomon Brown's parentage is revealed, it won't just fracture the family. It will obliterate the illusion they built before the world. Because blood may bind us. But when it's tested, it tells the truth no one dares to say aloud. Tells the truth no one dares to say aloud. Day 3, the verdict. The sun barely peeks over the Utah courthouse as news vans swarm the car park like vultures. Reporters, cameramen, and fans of Sister Wives line the steps, waiting for the moment the Brown legacy either survives or shatters. Inside, the courtroom hums with quiet tension. The same walls that once echoed with chaos now feel like a tomb. Every seat is filled. Every whisper dies before it even begins. Meri Brown arrives first, calm, controlled. Wearing black, this time a statement, not a coincidence. Her cracked leather notebook rests in her arms like a relic of everything she's endured. Christine enters next, silent and pale, followed by Janelle, whose eyes reveal sleepless nights. Both women take their seats behind Meri, not as spectators, but as silent allies. And then come Kody and Robyn. Kody's swagger has evaporated. His hair hangs loose around his face, and the defiance in his eyes flickers like a dying flame. Robyn trails behind, sunglasses on, her cheeks streaked from another night of tears. They don't speak. Not to the cameras. Not even to each other. When the judge enters, the room freezes. She carries a thin white envelope, the same one that's haunted every whisper in this building for days. She sits, adjusts her glasses, and begins. This court has received the certified DNA results from the Utah State Laboratory, she announces. These results concern the paternity of Solomon Brown, son of Mrs. Robyn Brown. Kody shifts uncomfortably in his chair. Robyn's shoulders tighten. The judge continues, voice steady, but weighted with the kind of truth that cannot be undone. These results have been verified by 2 independent labs. The findings are conclusive. A murmur rolls through the courtroom like thunder across the desert. Cameras flash. Reporters lean forward. Kody clenches his jaw, whispering to his attorney, "This is nonsense. They're lying. They're trying to humiliate me." But deep down, even he knows what's coming. Meri, hands folded, watches with a mix of sorrow and vindication. She never wanted to be here, but she knew this moment was inevitable. The judge clears her throat. According to DNA testing, the probability of Mr. Kody Brown being the biological father of Solomon Brown is 0%. The room explodes. Gasps, screams. The sound of chaos crashing against the walls. Robyn lets out a strangled cry, burying her face in trembling hands. Kody's mouth opens, but no words come. For a man who spent decades controlling the narrative, this is the first time he's utterly speechless. The judge bangs her gavel. Order. Order in this court. Kody slams his fist down. "You can't do this to me. She's my son. I raised him." "Then perhaps," the judge replies coolly, "you should have told the truth before asking this court to believe in your family's integrity." Robyn sobs uncontrollably. "It's not what you think. It's not like that tit was before. We were married, but the courtroom doesn't care. The cameras have already caught every word." Meri finally speaks, softly but with the power of years' worth of silence breaking. "You lied to all of us, Robyn. To me. To Janelle. To Christine. To the public. We built our lives around something that wasn't even real." Robyn looks up, mascara streaking her face. "You don't understand." "I understand enough," Meri says coldly. "That while we were breaking ourselves to hold this family together, you were building a lie inside our home." Kody stands trembling with rage. "You think you're a saint, Meri? You think exposing this helps anyone?" Meri turns her gaze on him, calm and razor sharp. "No, Kody. I think the truth helps everyone. Even you." The judge interjects, voice firm. "This court hereby suspends Mr. Kody Brown's petition for joint custody and orders a full review of Mrs. Robyn Brown's parental documentation. Further hearings will determine custody arrangements for all minor children affected by these findings. It's official. The Brown family empire, once built on unity and faith, is now divided by science. After court, outside the courthouse, the world outside is in uproar. Microphones flash like stars. Reporters shout questions over one another. "Meri, how long have you known?" "Robyn, is it true Kody isn't Solomon's father?" "Kody, are you pressing charges?" But the Browns don't answer. Robyn is led into a black SUV, tears streaming. Kody follows, red-faced and furious. Cameras swarm them, capturing every fractured second of their downfall. Christine and Janelle linger by the courthouse steps. They exchange a look, part sorrow, part relief. Christine murmurs, "It's over." Meri walks past them without a word, clutching her notebook. When a young reporter from the Salt Lake Tribune calls out, "Do you feel vindicated, Mrs. Brown?" She pauses, looks straight ahead. "This was never about revenge," she says quietly. "It was about truth. And truth doesn't care about our feelings, just demands to be known." She steps into her car, drives off without fanfare. No tears, no victory speech. Just silence, the kind that comes after a storm has done its damage. Behind her, the courthouse looms against the golden Utah sky, a place where faith met fact, and where a single DNA test redefined a family. Because at the end of the day, blood doesn't lie, but it sure can ruin everything built upon it. Back to the present, the courtroom sits under a heavy silence, the kind that seems to crush the air out of everyone's lungs. The bailiff walks in, holding a thin, sealed manila envelope, almost identical to the one from the first session. But this one feels heavier, thicker, with implications, soaked in the weight of a family's unraveling truth. The clerk whispers something to the judge before handing it over. Every eye in the room fixes on that envelope as though it were a ticking bomb. Meri sits still, her posture calm, but her heartbeat pounding against her ribs. She doesn't tremble this time. She doesn't flinch. She only watches, knowing that what comes next isn't just about Robyn's choices. It's about rewriting the legacy of the entire Brown family. The judge clears her throat softly. "We've received official confirmation from the Utah Department of Health," she begins. "The paternity findings regarding Solomon Brown are now part of public record." Kody shifts in his seat, jaw tight, fingers twitching on the table. His lawyer leans in, murmuring something, but Kody waves him off. Eyes fixed on that envelope like he already knows it holds the end of his illusion. The judge opens it. The sound of unfolding paper slices through the tension like a blade. It's the sound of lives splitting apart. Her voice is calm, steady, almost sterile. According to DNA testing conducted by the state authorities, Solomon Brown, alleged son of Kody Brown and Robyn Brown, shows a 99.998% probability that Mr. Brown is not the biological father. No gasps this time. No chaos. Only silence thick enough to drown in. Robyn bows her head. Her body trembles. Kody stares ahead, pale as stone. The room around them dissolves into stillness. Even the reporters stop typing. The judge continues. "These findings negate all prior custody petitions involving Solomon Brown and require an immediate re-examination of all parental rights associated. Further hearings will be scheduled." Kody turns slowly toward Robyn, his voice low and breaking. "You said you didn't know." Robyn's lips part. Her whisper is faint. "I didn't." "Not exactly." The words hang in the air like smoke. Meri watches them quietly, her face unreadable. But inside, her thoughts twist with sorrow. There's no victory here, only grief. The judge's voice slices through again. "In light of these findings, this court will allow presentation of additional evidence suggesting possible fraudulent filings under oath, specifically legal documents related to television contracts, tax records, and medical statements." And that's when Kody loses control. He stands abruptly, fists trembling. "This court is weaponizing my family," he roars. "This isn't about truth, it's about revenge." "Sit down, Mr. Brown," the judge warns firmly. "You don't understand." Kody shouts, his voice echoing off the wooden walls. "You weren't on TV for 10 years trying to hold a family together while everyone tore it apart." Christine leans forward, eyes wet but steady. "We destroyed it. You turned on all of us, Kody." Kody's lips curl. "You all betrayed me." The judge slams her gavel. "Enough. One more outburst and you'll be held in contempt." Kody collapses back into his chair, his fury simmering just beneath the surface. Then the screen at the front of the room flickers to life. A video deposition begins to play. David Jessup Robyn's ex-husband appears on screen.com and composed. "I contacted Robyn 2 years ago," he says evenly, "because something didn't feel right. Solomon was showing medical traits that didn't match my family. I asked for a DNA test. She refused at first, then agreed." The interviewer's voice asks, "Did you inform Kody Brown about this?" David shakes his head. "No, Robyn asked me not to. She said, and I quote, 'He's too fragile. He'll spiral.'" The words strike like a bullet. Janelle gasps softly. Christine covers her mouth. Meri doesn't blink. The judge peers over her glasses. "Mr. Brown, Were you aware of this exchange? Kody doesn't answer. His silence says everything. Robyn shakes her head. No, he didn't know. I didn't tell him. And did you falsify medical records listing Mr. Brown as the father? Robyn nods faintly, her voice barely audible. Yes, I did. The silence that follows is unbearable, heavy, endless. Meri rises slowly, holding a folder in her hands. Your Honor, she says, her voice firm. I have additional material. The judge gestures for her to continue. Meri steps forward and passes over printed emails in exchange between Robyn and a TLC producer from years ago. The subject line reads, Story Pitch, Solomon's Health Crisis Arc. Robyn's face drains of color. That's not what that was, she stammers. I was just trying to protect our income. Christine's voice cracks. By selling your child's sickness. The courtroom fills with murmurs. The judge's face hardens. This is no longer a routine custody hearing. We are now dealing with potential medical fraud, tax misrepresentation, and perjury. Further sessions will be scheduled. Kody leans over to his attorney, whispering urgently, We've got to stop this. But the wheels are already turning. Then flashback. A warm summer evening in 2015. A rented cabin outside Flagstaff. Cameras roll as the wives laugh around a fire. Kody cradles Solomon in his arms while Robyn kisses his cheek. It looks perfect. Wholesome, the kind of scene that sells hope. But just beyond the frame, Robyn whispers to a producer about staging a possible health scare for ratings. The producer smirks. That'll spike viewership. The flashback fades and we're back in the courtroom, older, broken, stripped of illusion. Robyn sits with her head in her hands. Kody stares at the table, eyes hollow. Christine and Janelle exchange a look of disbelief, while Meri stands silent, the truth sitting heavy on her shoulders. Because at last, the Brown family story isn't about faith, love, or even marriage. It's about exposure, about evidence. And once evidence is shown to the world, no one can pretend it never existed. No one can pretend it never existed. The courtroom hums like a storm waiting to break. Janelle stands up, unprompted, steady as a pillar in the chaos. Your Honor, she says, voice trembling but firm. There's something I need to say. I wasn't going to, but now I have to. The judge lifts her chin, eyes sharp. Then say it. Janelle turns to Kody, her gaze unflinching. Remember when we bought Coyote Pass? You used my retirement money. You said it was for all of us. But the deed, she pauses, breath-catching. The deed only bears your name. And Robyn's. Kody shifts lips, parting to speak. But Janelle raises her hand sharply. Don't. You said you'd pay me back. You said you'd fix it. She looks to the judge. He never did. Not one penny. He drew from my accounts while Robyn was collecting disability checks she wasn't even entitled to. Robyn gasps. How dare you? Janelle's composure cracks. You lied about your income, Robyn. I saw the bank statements. The courtroom explodes, reporters whispering, cameras flashing, murmurs spreading like wildfire. Betrayal isn't always about love. Sometimes it's money, and those wounds cut the deepest. The judge pounds her gavel. Order, order in the court. But Janelle isn't done. Her voice rings out clear and resolute. I have proof. Bank statements, transfers, everything. The judge's eyes narrow. Then we'll see them in the next session. This court is adjourned for today. But let it be known, this is no longer just a custody dispute. This is a case of fraud, deception, and potential criminal charges. As the gavel strikes, chaos floods the hallway. Protesters chant outside. Fans cry, some defend Robyn, others curse Kody's name. News tickers flash. DNA test exposes Brown family. Scandal. Janelle accuses Kody of theft. Robyn lied about paternity for ratings inside the corridor. Kody corners Meri against the wall, fury blazing in his eyes. You wanted to destroy me. He spits. Meri doesn't blink. No, she says calmly. I wanted the truth. He sneers. Well, congratulations. You got it. And storms off, cameras trailing him like vultures. Christine finds Meri outside. You all right? Meri exhales slowly. No, but I'm not broken either. Christine smiles faintly. We're stronger apart, you know that? Meri nods, glancing back at the courthouse doors. Janelle didn't end. She just opened the next book. Christine's eyes narrow. You think Kody knew about the money? Meri's jaw tightens. I don't think, Christine. I know. He was the one moving it. And just as that truth hangs heavy in the air, a new figure appears at the back entrance, a man, clean cut, carrying a hard drive. He hands it to the bailiff quietly. I have audio, he says. Robyn's phone call with the producer. The bailiff frowns. Who are you? Former sound tech. The man replies softly. TLC. The bailiff nods and vanishes into the judge's chambers. Inside, as the lights dim, a new storm begins to rise. Because if what's on that hard drive is real, the trial is far from over. It's only the beginning. Day 4. The courthouse feels different now, tenser, colder. No fans, no posters, no laughter. Only reporters, investigators, and 2 silent Homeland Security agents in the back row. Kody walks in alone. No wave, no grin. Just a hollow stare. Robyn hasn't been seen since the DNA revelation rumor says she's sequestered. Moments later, Janelle enters. No makeup, no jewelry, just a worn denim jacket and a thick folder clutched in her arms. She walks straight to the stand. Mrs. Brown, the judge begins. You've filed documents alleging financial exploitation by the defendant. State your relationship and your complaint. Janelle nods. I was the second wife of Kody Brown. We weren't legally married, but we shared a life, businesses, properties, and he exploited me. Kody snorts. Janelle doesn't even glance at him. I have statements, transfers, withdrawals from my accounts between 2018 and 2021. Kody told me it was for family property development. But the deeds, she gestures toward the screen, bear only his and Robyn's names. The documents appear one by one: wire transfers, signed agreements, missing signatures. I worked. I raised our children. I trusted him, Janelle says quietly. He funneled my money into Robyn's name. Not ours, hers. Kody's face reddens. You agreed to support the family. Janelle's eyes blaze. No, Kody, I agreed to support us. Not your obsession with Robyn. The courtroom gasps. The judge's gavel silences them. This is a court of law, she warns. Not a family brawl. Janelle continues, voice firm now. He refused to legalize our agreements. Said it would look messy for TV. Then I found this. She holds up a printed email and internal message from Kody to TLC. It reads, Janelle isn't a legal spouse. Mid her from property royalties to simplify accounting. A collective murmur fills the room. Christine's hand covers her mouth. Meri stares, stunned. And then, the final blow. Janelle drops a folded insurance form on the desk. Robyn collected payouts under a medical clause that used my name. My identity, my life. The judge's tone hardens. If proven, these are felonies. Fraud and identity misuse. Kody slams his hand on the table. It wasn't fraud, it was strategy. The judge's gaze turns cold. When deception becomes strategy, humanity is lost. Kody falls silent. Janelle steps down, trembling, and Christine meets her halfway. You did it, she whispers. I should have done it years ago, Janelle replies softly. Meri stands behind them, quiet, proud, unbroken. Then comes a surprise witness. Lindsay Walker, former accountant for the Sister Wives production company. Her voice is steady. Kody and Robyn funneled money through fake LLCs, shell companies. None of the other wives ever appeared on the ledgers. They received nothing from international streaming rights or licensing deals. Gasps fill the air. The pieces are falling into place. The judge faces Kody. Did you direct payments into hidden accounts? He hesitates. I was protecting the family. Whose family? She presses. He looks away. No answer. Outside, headlines erupt again. Kody Brown accused of hiding show earnings. Janelle exposes millions in missing funds. Robyn and Kody's. LC under investigation back inside. Christine approaches the bench, holding a sealed envelope. Your Honor, this is a sworn letter from Nathan P., a former construction partner on Coyote Pass. She reads aloud, Kody promised shared ownership of the land, but signed an exclusivity deal with Robyn. He sold company assets to pay off Robyn's credit card debt. I'm still owed $27,000. Kody erupts. He's bitter. He's lying. Christine glares. Maybe bitter, but broke because of you. The judge sighs heavily. This has escalated into both civil and criminal territory. She turns to Meri. Do you still wish to pursue custody? Meri stands, her voice sharp as glass. Yes, but I demand more. I want a full audit. Every dollar, every lie, every transfer traced. The courtroom stills. Even Christine looks stunned. Meri's tone doesn't waver. I want restitution for every woman he deceived. This isn't revenge, it's justice. The gavel strikes. Motion noted. Session adjourned. But before the crowd disperses, the clerk rushes forward, holding a phone. Your Honor, she says breathlessly, we've received an authenticated recording from the TLC sound technician. A call between Robyn Brown and a network producer discussing staged storylines and potential obstruction. The judge listens privately. Her face turns pale. She removes the headphones slowly. Clear the courtroom, she orders. As the room empties, Meri whispers to Janelle, it's worse than we thought. Christine asks, what was on the tape? Meri only says enough to change everything. Inside, Judge Wexler sits motionless. The recording details deliberate staging of false health crises, faked CPS reports, and legal manipulation for ratings. She exhales. This confirms conspiracy, fraud, and obstruction. If validated, both Robyn and Kody could face criminal indictment. Kody looks like the color has drained from his body. Meri's lawyer rises. Your Honor, these women have lived through years of manipulation disguised as love. This isn't about custody, it's about truth. And then one final shock. The side door opens. In walks Leon Brown, grown.com, resolute. Meri freezes. She didn't expect this. Leon takes the stand. I'm not here about money, they say softly. I'm here about fear. Their voice doesn't tremble. I grew up under control, under silence. My father loved obedience, not honesty. We were actors in his life, nothing more. The judge nods. Do you have proof? Leon produces a flash drive. Video diaries. Recordings from years ago. Conversations between Dad and Robyn about fabricating scenes, concealing illnesses, and silencing Mom for ratings. Meri's eyes close. Her hands shake. Kody mutters, you're trying to destroy me. Leon meets his gaze. No, Dad, you did that yourself. And with that, they leave no tears, no drama, just quiet truth. Hours later, the judge returns. Her face unreadable. Custody of Truly Brown is awarded to Christine Brown, with Meri Brown as backup guardian. Kody Brown will hold no rights pending investigation. Kody slumps, and all financial and audio evidence will be forwarded to the Utah Attorney General. If confirmed, both Mr. and Mrs. Brown will face federal charges. The courtroom gasps. The judge adds softly, this isn't victory. The courtroom gasps. The judge adds softly, this isn't victory. It's reckoning. The gavel falls. Outside, reporters swarm. Meri, did you ever think it would come to this? She pauses. No, she says, but I hoped it would end. Janelle, Christine, and Meri stand side by side, no longer co-wives, but survivors. And across town, Robyn sits alone in a hotel room, holding an old photo of the family. Tears blur her eyes as a knock sounds at the door. She doesn't answer. Back at the courthouse, as the crowd thins, a woman in a red blazer approaches. There's one more file, she says, handing Meri a folder. Inside, offshore accounts. Hidden assets. Robyn's name on every page. Christine gasps. The woman adds quietly, I'm with the IRS. You'll want to sit down for this. And just like that, what everyone thought was the end. was merely the beginning of a deeper, darker storm. The woman in the red blazer stands firm. Her voice crisp, echoing against the courthouse marble walls. "I'm with the IRS," she repeats, her eyes unflinching. "And what I'm holding isn't just evidence, it's a map. A map of where the money went." Meri takes the folder with trembling hands. The air feels thick, as though the very walls know what's about to unfold. Janelle and Christine lean in as Meri opens it slowly. Inside, bank statements, overseas wire transfers, signatures, some scribbled, some typed. The same names appear over and over again. Robyn Brown, RB Holdings Limited, Island Financial Trust. Christine's lips part, barely whispering, "She hid it." Janelle's face hardens. No, she buried it. The IRS agent crosses her arms. "We've been watching the Browns for years. But this," she taps the folder, "this gives us probable cause. Offshore accounts, hidden royalties, unreported assets tied to TLC payments." Mrs. Brown, she nods at Meri. "This is the tip of something enormous." Meri steadies herself. "How enormous?" The agent's eyes flicker. "Enough to put someone in federal custody." Christine exhales sharply, her hand flying to her mouth. Janelle looks toward the courthouse doors where cameras still flash outside. The truth is no longer just personal. It's national. A voice echoes from behind them, gruff low, filled with disbelief. "You've got to be kidding me." Kody stands there, disheveled, tie loosened, eyes wild. "You think I knew about offshore accounts? I didn't even know Robyn had a passport." The IRS agent turns to him with quiet authority. "Mr. Brown, you're not being accused yet, but you will need to cooperate. Every email, every payment, every contract." Kody scoffs. "I built this family. I built this empire." Meri's voice cuts through his. "You've built it on lies." He stops cold. For the first time, his voice cracks. "You all turned on me." Christine shakes her head. "No, Kody, you turned on yourself." Outside, the reporters sense a shift. They surge forward, cameras flashing, microphones raised. "Mrs. Brown, what's happening now? Is the IRS involved? Is there more evidence?" Meri shields her eyes from the glare. "It's bigger than we thought," she says quietly, then turns to Janelle. "We're not done." Janelle nods, not by a long shot. The IRS agent gestures to the courthouse doors. "We'll need statements. All three of you." The women exchange looks exhausted, but united. For the first time, they are not rivals, not sister wives. They are witnesses, survivors, and now potential whistleblowers. As they follow the agent down the hallway, the camera pans back to Kody, standing alone. His reflection in the courthouse glass looks smaller, hollowed. The bravado drained away. He whispers under his breath, almost to himself, "Robyn, what did you do?" Scene shift. A luxury townhouse, undisclosed location. Robyn sits at a glass table, laptop open, her face pale. A stack of papers lies beside Urbank printouts, account codes, transfers. She scrolls through her email, panic rising. A message from IRS Internal Investigation Division flashes at the top. Subject line, immediate compliance notice. Foreign asset disclosure. She slams the laptop shut. Her phone rings. Unknown number. She hesitates, then answers. "Hello." A man's voice responds, cold, deliberate. "Mrs. Brown, you don't know me, but you will. I handled your account in Belize. They're closing in. You need to disappear." Robyn's pulse spikes. "Disappear? You mean leave?" The voice pauses. "Leave. Or be found." She ends the call, hands shaking. In the reflection of the black screen, she sees herself not the smiling TV wife. Not the perfect mother, but a woman cornered by her own creation. Back at the courthouse, the IRS agent spreads papers across the table. "These accounts link directly to production kickbacks," she explains. "We believe Robyn and possibly a network executive rerouted licensing fees overseas under false names. Kody may have signed secondary authorizations, knowingly or not." Meri's voice tightens. "Knowingly." He always knew. Christine leans forward. What happens now? The agent replies, we move to federal court. And if this evidence holds, there will be indictments. Janelle crosses her arms, the weight of years pressing down. We lost marriages, homes, reputations. But at least now, we might gain the truth. Meri whispers, and peace. The agent gathers her files. I'll be in touch soon. Keep your phones close. As she leaves, the courthouse lights dim. Christine, Janelle, and Meri stand together once more. Christine breaks the silence. You know what's funny? Meri looks at her. What? Christine smiles sadly. For years, they said our story was reality TV. Turns out, it was all fiction. And now, the reality begins. The three women walk down the long corridor, side by side. The camera lingers on their backs as they disappear into the blinding flash of reporters outside Reborn. Resilient and ready for whatever storm comes next. Resilient and ready for whatever storm comes next. Day 5, the federal investigation begins. Morning doesn't dawn so much as it arrives like a hammer. A cold Utah sunrise bleeds across the courthouse skyline, painting everything in pale gold and ash gray, the color of unfinished truths. Meri, Janelle, and Christine step out of a black car. No cameras this time. No reporters. The trial that once drew hundreds now moves underground under federal scrutiny. Inside, the atmosphere is no longer dramatic, it's deadly serious. The seal of the United States District Court hangs over the entrance like a silent warning. For the first time, the Browns are no longer facing each other. They're facing the government. Inside a dimly lit conference chamber, 3 agents from the IRS Criminal Investigation Division sit across from the women. One of them, Agent Sarah Kent, slides a new file forward. Mrs. Brown, Mrs. Brown, Mrs. Brown. She begins softly, glancing at each of them in turn. You were all victims. But before this is over, we need your cooperation to ensure no one walks free. Janelle's voice is calm but sharp. We'll give you everything. Christine nods. Every receipt. Every email. Every time Kody said it was for the family. Meri sits silently, her hands clasped tight. Her eyes drift to a photo on the wall, the American flag, reflected in polished glass. Justice, a word she's feared for and fought for all her life. Agent Kent clicks the remote. A projection lights up. Bank records appear. Transfers from RB Holdings Ltd. TLC, Media Europe, Brown Family Development Fund. And then a shadowed line item, Swiss account 847 LS beneficiary. Robyn Brown, Christine whispers. Oh my God. The agent continues, over $2.4 million moved offshore in 4 years. Some under Kody's signature, some under Robyn's. We've also identified forged documentation tied to property refinancing. You've all been collateral. Meri leans forward. And TLC. The producers. Agent Kent nods. They'll face their own inquiry. There's a subpoena on the way to Los Angeles. This isn't just a family scandal anymore. This is corporate fraud. Cut to Robyn's townhouse nightfall. The blinds are drawn. A single suitcase lies open on the bed. Robyn packs in silence, passports, documents, jewelry. The TV hums in the background, replaying the headlines. Brown family investigation expands to federal level. Robyn Brown under IRS probe, offshore accounts linked to TLC funds. Her phone buzzes again. Unknown number. She hesitates, then answers. A low, calm voice. You're out of time. She freezes. Who is this? You wired $600,000 to a closed Belize account. They traced it. They're coming for you. Her heart races. What do I do? The voice replies, disappear. Tonight, or your name becomes evidence. The line cuts. Robyn sinks onto the bed, clutching her head. She whispers to the empty room, Kody, what have we done? A knock at the door startles her. It's a courier. She signs automatically, opens the envelope, a subpoena. You are hereby summoned to appear before the federal court, Salt Lake City, Utah. Tears well up in her eyes. There's no escape now. Meanwhile, at Janelle's house, Stacks of papers cover the dining table. Old contracts, receipts, files she'd once locked away to forget. Christine flips through one. "You kept all this?" Janelle sighs. "I thought someday I might need it. I just didn't think it would be for this." Meri enters quietly, holding a flash drive. "Leon sent this last night," she says. "Video footage from when they were filming in Flagstaff. There's audio Kody and Robyn talking about hiding money before the legal separation." Christine stiffens. "Are you serious?" Meri nods. It's time to end this for good. Back in court, day 5 continues. Kody enters the room flanked by lawyers. The usual arrogance is gone, replaced with the look of a man who finally realizes his empire is crumbling. Robyn's seat beside him is empty. Judge Wexler addresses the court. Mrs. Robyn Brown has been subpoenaed and is required to appear. "Mr. Kody Brown, you are here to answer federal financial allegations." Kody's attorney stands. "Your Honor, my client maintains his innocence. He has cooperated fully." The judge glances down at the file in front of her. According to IRS records, cooperation is subjective. The courtroom door opens. All eyes turn. Robyn walks in, pale, trembling, a file in her hands. Gasps ripple through the room. Kody stands, jaw tight. "What are you doing here?" she whispers, trying to survive. The judge nods. "Mrs. Brown, please take the stand." Robyn sits. Her voice quivers. "I'll tell you everything." Kody's face drains of color. "Robyn, don't." But she continues. "It started when TLC cut our pay after the Vegas move. Kody and I opened private accounts just to keep the show going. But then it became more we hid the income. We faked invoices. She breaks down, covering her face. "We even filed under the kids' names." The courtroom explodes in noise. Reporters gasp. Whispers spread like wildfire. Judge Wexler slams the gavel. "Order." Meri stares at Robyn, disbelief mingled with sorrow. Janelle whispers, "She's confessing." Christine crosses her arms. "Or bargaining." Robyn finally looks at Kody, tears streaming. "I'm sorry, but I can't protect you anymore." Kody's voice rises. "You think you'll get immunity? You think they'll let you walk away?" The judge cuts in sharply. "Mr. Brown, control yourself. You're under oath." Robyn's eyes drop. "I already gave them the hard drive." Kody's breath catches. "What?" She looks up. "The one you told me to destroy." The entire courtroom freezes. Cut to judge's chambers. Agents review the new hard drive videos, call logs, hidden bank authorizations. The evidence is undeniable. Judge Wexler returns to the bench, her expression grave. "This court will adjourn for the day," she announces. "But based on the testimony and evidence presented, I am ordering immediate seizure of all Brown family business accounts pending investigation." Kody collapses into his chair. Robyn sobs quietly beside him. Meri, Janelle, and Christine exchange a silent look, not of victory, but of closure. As they leave the courtroom, the sky outside grows darker, a storm building over. Utah. The saga that began as a reality show has become a federal reckoning. And this time, there's no script.